The Rams took down the Seahawks yesterday. You've got a three-way cluster now at the top of the NFC West. Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, all 6-3, and the Rams got it done yesterday against Seattle by virtue of their defense. Here's Sean McVay, an offensive coach for a change, giving a ton of credit to his defense.
Unbelievable job by our defense. Darius Williams with two unbelievably big picks for us. Second half, the one after the turnover offensively to be able to get that play. This guy shows up in a big way. I thought Jalen Ramsey was outstanding throughout the course of the day. Didn't see a lot of action from some of the guys that he was over the top of. And just our defense as a whole. I mean, you just can't say enough about what they've consistently done, doing it against an offense that's arguably producing at the highest level in the league right now.
Every time I see him talk now, Chris, I think modulation. Modulation. Up and down, slow down, speed up. It's, as you said, it's always front of the room teaching the team.
That's what he's doing.
And it's always right here.
He's coaching.
But reason to be excited yesterday, though, taking care of Russell Wilson and company. My God, so much for the Russell Wilson MVP candidacy. He went from getting none of the votes ever to getting all of the votes to getting none of the votes again, the way things have gone, and the Rams defense has a lot of credit. Rams defense shuts down Wilson. Jalen Ramsey shuts down DK Metcalf. Metcalf getting frustrated yesterday. I think that's the first time we've ever seen that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when Jalen Ramsey does his thing.
Yeah, that's why you pay Jalen Ramsey $20 million a year, and that's why the Rams have star players a little bit. It's games like yesterday. Their stars made plays throughout the game. Oh, Leonard Floyd, free agency, 3 sacks. Of course, Aaron Donald all around Russell Wilson. And then the ability to have guys that can match up against other stars. And that's where Jalen Ramsey came in handy. It's what we've been begging for, right? I mean, I know I've said it on the podcast. We saw it a little bit, as far as before the bye week, they were starting to do Jalen Ramsey, hey, you're on an island, you cover that guy. The rest of the defense, we're going to do something else. And they're special when they do that. They have a good formula as far as the personnel to stop Russell Wilson. And then when Seattle doesn't have Chris Carson or any of their running backs, it just becomes all too much Russell Wilson. He's got to do everything. And that, to me, is the biggest issue there, let alone we know the Seattle defense is still nothing special. I mean, they had their issues. But what we've seen really in all of Seattle's losses this year is, Russell makes mistakes. Because Russell has to make plays constantly to help them win football games, and
But wait, Chris, you can't say can't praise DK Metcalf incessantly and then act like Russell Wilson has no help whatsoever.
Oh well, I'm just talking about it's always on him and the offense to make plays.
It's always on the quarterback, but it's always on the quarterback.
Mike, Tom Brady's got a 190-yard rusher yesterday.
Okay,
you have to have running game and defense every week. He has the worst defense in the history of football, Mike. It's the worst in the history of football.
I think you're exaggerating.
No, it's statistically the worst in the history of football right now. It's the worst.
All right.
So how is that, counselor? Will you rest your case now? Okay.
You
just tried to be a jerk on a Monday morning, and you want to throw that in there. Okay, great. You lost your argument. Be quiet.
No. Can I finish, please?
Yes.
I have a Jiminy Cricket in my ear that is pushing back on the notion that Russell Wilson is the greatest thing, as you like to say, since sliced bread.
Right.
That maybe Russell Wilson isn't, sculpted by God to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Maybe there's a chance that there are flaws in his abilities. And, we've built this guy up under the notion that he's underrated. It could be that after building him up and building him up and building him up, and now to the point where it's let Russ cook and it's all on him, maybe he's overrated. Well, maybe we've pushed too far.
I'm not going to go too far with that. No, I'm not. I know
10 touchdowns and 10 turnovers in the last 4 games.
Hey, yeah, and I understand it. It's not great.
What would you say if your boy Blue did that?
Well, I don't know. When my boy Blue did it, there was a graph about it every 3 minutes, and it's all we talked about in football. That's all they talked about. Look, Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions, and they lost 2 games. We got to talk about it because in the draft they said he wasn't good, and look, now there's 2 games where he wasn't good. I'm justified. I mean, with Russell Wilson, Again, yeah, I'm not trying to give him a free pass, and I know Matt Casey's the biggest Russell Wilson hater in the world, our producer of the show.
I'm doing the math just to see if there's some chance that Josh Allen's actually your son. I don't know how the ages would work.
No, it wouldn't work. I had to get started real early.
You have a very strong affinity for Josh Allen, as you should, but it is funny. I like to tweak you a little bit there. But Russell, I mean,
yes,
look, it could just be that when you have no other help, right? And it starts off in this magical way where it's Russell, and let Russ cook, and every defense that you're facing is hearing that and seeing that and breaking it down. And if that really is the strength of the team, at some point, NFL caliber defenses are going to come up with a way to frustrate it, to stymie it, and to expose it. And you're going to have to go to something else, and you don't have anything else to go to. When you take away what you do best, you fall back to plan B. Maybe Seattle doesn't have a plan B, so they stick with plan A, even if plan A isn't working.
Well, they've been able to get away with matchup football in a lot of these type of moments where, hey, they want to put people down here to maybe stop Russell from throwing or anything like that. They've always been able to rely on, at the end of the day, wait, you're one-on-one with DK Metcalf? We'll go to that. And that's where it's an interesting matchup because Jalen Ramsey, he is probably I really think he is. He's the only corner in football, I think, that can physically stand in there with DK Metcalf play after play after play. I mean, we saw Stephon Gilmore earlier in the year. He had issues with that. Jalen Ramsey did not yesterday. And then Jalen Ramsey, hey, come on, this is one of the freakiest guys we've seen come in football the last 10 years. He is unreal. So his top-end speed can match DK Metcalf's too. And it's again, it's like we've talked about Lamar Jackson and any other people. Like every team has their kryptonite a little bit. And this Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks, their kryptonite is in L.A. and it wears yellow and blue. I mean, they've lost, 5 out of the last 6 against this football team? And the game they won, Zuerlein missed a pretty makeable field goal by his standards last year in a Thursday night football game. So because of the playmakers, the way they play, and then Seattle's defense still being horrible, hey, they controlled the ball and made enough plays, and it was a fun game. But, yes, Russell made mistakes, and he can't afford to with the way they play this year.
The most glaring mistake when he throws across his body into the end zone. He sees Will Dissly. He didn't see the defender. The defender had a chance to jump up and snag the ball. Again, that's the kind of thing where when you strip everything away, setting aside that Russell is the best thing they have by far, and I'm a huge Russell Wilson fan. Look, I'm not trying to knock the guy, but we have to call it like we see it.
Right.
That's a throw you don't make. You shouldn't make that throw if you're Russell Wilson. You need to see that defensive player is there, and he has a chance to jump up and get it. And for whatever reason,
that was big.
Russell Wilson didn't see him.
Yeah, that was big because that was the moment where, let's not forget prior to that, Jamal Adams had just strip-sacked Jared Goff. So they had just got the ball back. They were down 17-10, being outplayed, and you go, oh, man, there goes Seattle. One of their guys made a play, and here they are. Even though they're outplayed and everything like that, they're going to have a chance to tie the football game up. And I think the thing that jumped out to us while we watched it, we're not used to him making those type of mistakes. The guy was open. He leaves the pocket a little bit, and he could have probably ran for 10 to 15 yards, if not a touchdown. I mean, I think we both agree with that. Right? He ran up there. There was nobody there. There was a guy about one person 10 yards in front of him, and he decided to throw that out and up, like you said, along the sidelines. And then, of course, Williams, unbelievable game by him altogether, making that interception. But that was a big moment in the football game where Seattle had a chance to kind of take back control of the momentum and control the game, and, of course, they let that go.
And they've got to turn it around quickly now after losing 2 in a row, now 6-3 after that great start. And their problems began when they faced the Seattle Seahawks 3 weeks ago and lost that game 37-34 in prime time. That was when the bubble was burst, and since then they have not been a great team, and they get a chance to get on the right track. And we've talked about the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Seahawks. The Cardinals and the Rams haven't played each other this year. Talk about a great finish. They play each other twice between weeks 13 and week 17, which is going to make for a fascinating chase for the division title. But you know who's happiest of all the teams in the NFC about this? It's the Green Bay Packers. Because the Packers don't have this. They play the Bears twice. they don't have this.
Yeah, right.
They've got the clear path to division title, and they can fatten up their record, and they can watch the three teams in the NFC West continue to chew each other up.
It's amazing.
While the Packers just sit back and say, "Fine, we're going to be the 1 seed."
Yeah,
we're going to get
Packers
the week off.
struggle against the Jaguars. They're going to get the 1 seed. I know it is. It's shaping up.
And
right?
it makes it even more amazing that the 49ers emerged with the 1 seed last year when you consider how good those teams are in the NFC West.
Yeah.
From Seattle to San Francisco last year to the Rams, and even the Cardinals at 5-10-1 were a tough out last year. The division's even better this year, despite the fact that the 49ers have kind of faded out of contention.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.